So hello everyone. My name is Tim Deep. I'm the Customer Success Manager for DCKAP. We're excited to have you guys all here. So just want to do a quick thank you to our sponsors. We have BigCommerce, we have Nexus, APS Payments, Avalara, Gorgeous.digital, and Content for Commerce. So, and the DCKAP, we're the host for everything. So next I'd like to bring up Matt Schron. He's the General Manager for JIS Division of Jergens Inc. Also with Karthik Chidambaram. He's the founder and CEO at DCKAP. Right now, we're going to go through a fireside chat. How JIS Division of Jergens is responding, managing, and leading during the pandemic times. So, Karthik and Matt, you guys go ahead and share your screen.
Thank you, Tim. Hello everyone. Welcome to the first ever DCKAP Summit. Thank you, Tim. Thanks, Joe. That was a great, insightful session. As Tim had mentioned, we had originally planned to host the DCKAP East Summit at the Ritz-Carlton in Cleveland, Ohio. And we were expecting a little over 100 registrations. And because of this global pandemic, we decided to move this in-house or make it an e-summit so that people from all over the world could actually join. And we actually have over 350 registrations. And we are very, very thankful to all the participants and also a great panel of speakers. Definitely excited to be hosting this e-summit during these challenging times. But let me welcome Matt Schron, General Manager of JIS, a division of Jergens Inc. Matt has actually worked in 3 of the 4 divisions of JIS, and he's been the General Manager for Jergens since 2007. Matt, we are extremely pleased to have you join us on this fireside chat, and welcome.
Thank you, Karthik. I appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Cool. Matt, thank you. So Matt, before we even get started, right? JIS or Jergens is a really, really well-run family business spanning across multiple generations. Can you kind of give us a history of how you started, and was it your grandfather who started it? And can you walk us through the history or the story of Jergens?
Yeah, I'll give you a quick summary, Karthik. Yeah, so we started in 1942. We started by my great-grandfather and grandfather. We were making airplane seat components for the World War II effort. So we've grown since then. We now have 4 divisions of our company. 3 of them are manufacturing divisions. 1 of them is a distribution division. So the 3 manufacturing divisions are located in Cleveland, Chicago, and we have 1 in California. We manufacture work holding, fixturing, clamping devices. We also do specialty fasteners and some lifting devices in those facilities. We also have our next division, it's ASG. They do torque controlled precision screw driving and fastening devices. Our manufacturing division up in Chicago, Acme, they do precision round parts, drill bushings, and thread repair inserts. Then our industrial supply division does general line industrial supplies, cutting tools, MRO supplies, full line industrial distributor of abrasive products. We do a lot through different channels and support. Then we have sales offices in Shanghai, Mumbai, and then also distribution warehouses in Ireland. So I'm part of the 4th generation. And then I think just this past summer, we hired our 5th generation family member to work out in our California facility. So we're pretty excited about it.
That's amazing, Matt. It's really inspiring, right? So when did you actually start with the business, right? I mean, as a kid, or can you just share some insights there?
So people ask me all the time is how long I've worked for Jergens? I always say a lifetime. So I've worked there I came in the summers when I was a kid, working in some of the machine shops, working on the sweeping floors, packing boxes, shipping things. So I've done almost many of the jobs around this facility at one point in my life and stuff. So yeah, I started as a kid, and I think I've been around for a long time. We still do a lot of different family types of events to try to keep the family connections. Like for example, we still give out birthday cards for all of our employees on their birthday. We kind of do it like grandma used to do. We give $10 for them, put it in the birthday card, and with a handwritten note. So we try doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, we've been around for a while doing a lot of different things.
That's amazing, Matt. Really inspiring, right? So thanks for sharing those insights. So right from your childhood, right? So you have seen different stages of the business and Jergens evolve over multiple generations. With COVID-19, how has this actually impacted the business? And did you have a business continuity plan in place like a BCP? And did you also consult with other business leaders within the company?
So we did have different types of contingency plans in place. I will be honest, we did not have one in place for a pandemic. So along the way, we made a few mistakes. One of the first things we did do though, is first thing we did is we launched our Jergens Corona Victory Team that we called the JCVT team. We meted twice a week, and we still are meeting twice a week. We meet for 1 hour a day on Tuesdays and Thursdays to go through all the daily changes and things that are going on, because it's just such a changing world that happens almost all the time. So one of the first things we did though, as we got the team together, was we had to find ways for our employees to start working from home. Obviously, we've got a whole section of office workers, so we had to get them monitors, laptops. We had to order a lot more VPN lines. We had to do a lot with phone redirection, getting our VPN setups for loop calls that were technically supposed to be in the office being taken to be done outside the office. We also, in the manufacturing facilities, we had to change the way we did our manufacturing. Because some of our assembly areas, the people were within 6 feet of each other and some of our machines were closer than 6 feet, we had to divide that workload up. So we went to seven days a week with shifts on 10-hour or 12-hour shifts to keep the proper social distancing. We also had some high-risk employees that were over the age of 65, where we had to find alternative schedules for them, work with them in different situations. We actually had to do changes in how people got into the buildings. Because we had to take temperatures for all employees coming into buildings, we had to change the entrances. So we had to lock down a few of the entrances and force people and funnel them through 2 main entrances so we could take all our temperatures. We obviously stopped allowing visitors, stopped doing travel. But we also did some small things to try to help benefit our employees. We allowed them all to dress casually if they came to the office. So they wear jeans and, casual outfits as opposed to having any kind of business casual attire. We've done a few things, even from our employees stepped up and volunteered. We had one employee who had some sewing skills, so they started sewing masks for all our employees. So we have masks for our employees and for their family members that were sewn by our employees. So that was great. And then obviously we had to do a lot more finding ways to work together. Like we did Zoom calls and WebEx meetings like this, like this conference you guys are hosting, and then we made sure our managers and supervisors were reaching out to our employees, what could they do to connect with their employees on a variety of bases? I mean, they did weekly meetings. We even have, Friday virtual happy hours with our employees to try to connect with them. It's ways in which we can connect to try to make sure we're still staying engaged. And then the final thing we did, which I think was really trying to stay connected with them, is those employees that were required to come into the office, our shipping and receiving people, our machine operators. We do special treat days. So we have random treat days throughout the time that we've been going on. We've been doing like movie packs where we'll give them packs of movie, popcorn and, Sour Patch Kids. We've done gift cards to local restaurants. We've done individually wrapped donuts for people. And then we've even given out, at the very beginning when there was hard to find toilet paper, we had some excess toilet paper. So we gave everyone rolls of toilet paper just to make sure that they could have something like that. So we've been really trying to find ways to connect with our employees and trying to help that out as well too.
Matt, I think there are a lot of great business lessons one can learn from this. Thank you for leading from the front. And one thing I took away from whatever you had said is having an expert team within the company, and you guys still meet at least 2 times a week, and taking care of employees, even with their little needs, is actually amazing and something a lot of us can learn from. Thanks for that great leadership. And another question I had for you is in terms of manufacturing. You mentioned that Jergens has operations across the globe, and you also have operations in China. And how dependent are you in China? And is this really going to impact your relationship with them, or what are your thoughts with China?
So yeah, I would tell you, China started on this path a lot earlier than us, obviously, because the pandemic started over there. Actually, I was supposed to be in China the last week of February, and I had to cancel that trip because of the beginning of the pandemic throughout the world. So we do have sales offices. We do not do any manufacturing in China. I always tell everyone it's our way of trying to manufacture in the U.S. and then we ship throughout the world. So we are doing just sales offices because it is a big country and big market. So we actually had to close our sales offices over in China for almost a month based on it was right around the Chinese New Year, based on the pandemic and what they were going on there. I will tell you that our operations back open and operational right now. And, in talking with our staff over there, production is coming back online. They're still practicing social distancing and they're wearing their masks. They're doing some of the things that we're hearing that's happening right now in the US. They started travel within their own cities is the way they do in regions. They still have very limited air travel. But, I was just on an economist hearing him speak about China just the other day, and even talking to our employees, they're probably up about 85 to 90% of their production is back online today. We are a believer that, the China economy, they need us and we kind of need them. So we're both large trading partners back and forth to each other. So we're going to keep trying to utilize them to grow our sales, and we're going to have employees over there that hopefully they can grow their sales as well too. So it's a different environment over there today. It's changing just like it is in the US, but we're still using that as a market we want to grow as a sales channel worldwide.
Thanks, man. That's a lot of learning as well. And the COVID-19 Commerce Insights tracker data shows that e-commerce revenue is up 37% in the last few days compared to the same time last year. And orders are also up 54% in the last few days compared to the same time last year. And again, this also depends on if the business is essential or a non-essential business and what is happening there. But experts are predicting that there's going to be a paradigm shift towards digital commerce. And we are really happy to partner with Jergens, and we helped transform your digital journey. So what do you think about that, right? So what are your thoughts in terms of e-commerce and COVID-19?
So I will tell you that from our distribution in JIS side and on the website partnering thing, I would tell you what we believe in multi-channels to service our customers. So we also believe that all customers have different reasons why they buy. So we want to make sure we're servicing all those different customers and giving them options and channels to buy. So yeah, JIS, we have a guarantee that we say we are going to keep you running. And what that means is we're going to service you in different ways. So we try to differentiate our service and keep you running through a variety of channels. One thing we do is we offer on-site vending solutions. So we'll put a vending machine that dispenses cutting tools, abrasive products, MRO supplies right on your shop floor. We also have our JS Express program that uses IoT buttons that can be put on the shop floor. You can push the button and it reorders the parts for you and ships them to you immediately. We also have our outside sales team that's out there supporting them and selling technical solutions to our customers. We have a customer service team that tries targeting a 1-hour turnaround time for quotes and orders. And we believe heavily that the website is another channel that we have to the marketplace. In the last 12 months, we've really focused on e-commerce and the e-commerce channel and making it our top priority. We believe that it is an important channel before the COVID, and we believe it's going to be an important channel after the COVID thing. So, we've really utilized your resources and your team's resources to figure out how do we enhance the functionality and features and services that we can launch on our website. Making sure that we've got 24/7 online ability to buy. We have our ability for our customers to find their pricing online. They can review their order history. They can have, take a quote that we're sending them, through our traditional customer service people and convert it online. Giving them all those items that they have as favorites that they're reordering on a regular basis, list, search, find, easy access to them. Because we know they're going to be going on our website to find those items. So, we've really been working hard to have rich content that we can put on our website that's easy, searchable, they can find. I'm a big believer that our customers need options, and the website is just one of those options in the future. We want it to grow. We see it growing. We see it being a forefront of a focus for us in the future, and we really want to see it grow to be a big percentage of our sales and revenue going in the next few years.
Thank you, man. I think that's definitely a very, very smart investment. And you talked about e-commerce being a channel and the channel being even more important during these current circumstances. Thanks for sharing those insights. And you also talked about the different things you have been doing for your employees, and how have your employees been coping up with this situation with COVID-19? Are they kind of enjoying working from home, or is everybody able to work from home? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so many of our employees are really adjusting to that new working from home schedule, right? So, I mean, many of them, as they were sent home, they were sent home immediately, right? They came in one day and they were working in the office. They had resources and support next to them, supervisors or managers right down, the hall from them. And today they had to go and create maybe a working environment at home that they didn't have before. They had to understand what remote meetings was like, how to be professional in a remote meeting. They had to try to figure out how to eliminate all those distractions you have at home, whether it be, your family or your dog or whatever you have. And, then they had to make sure they're staying motivated when they're at the house as well, too. So we have done a few things, to try and engage with our employees. We've sent them surveys almost every 2 weeks on the people that work from home. And most of them are responding that they're doing pretty good. Some of them have said that they express missing their coworkers. I guess they don't see their dog as a coworker at home. You know what I mean? Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but they miss their coworkers a little bit from coming into the office. So we're trying to engage with them. But I would also tell you that we're already starting to plan. We are starting to plan to have them come back to the office because, we're starting to think that there's a lot of benefits by having them at the office. We believe that there's a number of benefits from, having your employee next to you, your coworker next to you, being able to communicate with those coworkers, and it gives you fast response to your customers and faster decision-making processes as well too. So we're starting to lay out guidelines for coming back to work, and we think we're going to be back to work. Hopefully, they announced in Ohio this week that they have some guidelines where we can start trying to find ways to get people back to work starting here shortly in the next few weeks. So we're starting to plan for that. We hope it happens soon.
Thank you, Matt. Surveys and communication is definitely the key, right? And another question I had for you is, what impact are you seeing in terms of revenue numbers, right? So with COVID-19, are you on target for this quarter and for the year?
So I would start by saying the first half of this year, the first 2.5 months, we were above plan and we were doing pretty well. Then about middle of March, or for the last 45 days, day over day sales were probably down about 30%, I would say. Not quite, but 30% on the day over day sales. So we definitely have had a major impact. I'll tell you right now, I don't think anyone really knows what the pandemic, how the economy is going to react coming out of it. We've really had some challenges. No one's really been through this process before. From our standpoint, we didn't think the economy was in a bad position beforehand. We did not think that they were really having any major issues. So we think that when we shut everything down, it reopens, we hope the economy is going to reopen back kind of the way it was before this thing started. I look at China as a model of what they've done, and they've come back and they're starting to see some economic growth and some return to normalcy. I'm a big believer that there's been a lot of government programs that were put in place. This payroll protection plan that they put in place, they had funnel money into these businesses. I think that's going to be some, the way that they've given money to every, W-2 person that had above a certain dollar amount as far as salaries and stuff. I think those are things that are going to be putting cash into business owners and into consumers' hands. That's going to hopefully see some reaction and some growth in the economy. We think the next 2 or 3 months is going to be kind of a leveling off period as people understand what the new normal is for out there in the marketplace. And we're hoping to see a return back to normal sales revenue by about October of this year. We're keeping our fingers crossed and we're watching it closely.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for being transparent with the numbers, and it really helps the audience. And another question I had for you is, there are a lot of B2B merchants in the audience and a lot of B2C merchants as well. And a lot of the DCKAP community is here as well. So what recommendation or advice do you have for the other e-summit attendees?
So I'm a big believer, and I think our business is a big believer in trying to find ways which you can differentiate your business. You can figure out different ways to be different than your competition. JIS uses the guarantee that we're going to keep you running in your business and in your shop, having the supplies that you need. So I would encourage everyone as they're going through this pandemic to stay focused on the long term. I think Joel mentioned in his presentation talking about P&G. There are companies that go through downturns and come out stronger. And I think that right now you've got to be a company that's not one that's burying your head in the sand. You've got to be finding ways to differentiate your business, taking advantage and leveraging the opportunities you have in the business, finding competitive advantages that you have over the next few months. So when the economy does improve, you're ready to take market share. You're ready to go after that market share and take your competition down. So I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to leverage ourselves. We're talking about different ways in which we can keep our customers running. And we're trying to find promotions, programs in place that we can do that right now. So we're working on those things today, trying to prepare ourselves for when things do improve.
Thank you, Matt. I think that's really good. Appreciate that. We are running short on time, but I do want to take some questions as well. There's one question from the audience here. So the question is, what do you anticipate as the most important step for customers to take post-pandemic reopening? Maybe you answered that, but do you want to add anything more?
So obviously, I think the most important step is the two most important steps I would say is one is obviously taking care of your employees. You've got to make sure you're taking care of your employees and following all the proper CDC guidelines that you have in place. The second thing you got to do is making sure you're staying focused on your customer. What is it that's differentiating you in the marketplace today, and how do you leverage that? Because I think as you open the business back up, you don't want to see a change in your service level. You don't want to change your performance level, and you want to make sure you're still staying focused on that customer out there. But you can't do without your employees. So as long as you're staying focused on the proper guidelines, I know they're, taking the temperatures, keeping social distancing, keeping the proper cleansing and cleaning practices open up throughout your facility. Those are things that you have to do throughout the facility to make sure you're prepared for it. I mean, one of the things that we did that I did not mention was we actually hired a company on Good Friday to come in there, and they did a disinfectant of our whole building. Not because we had any outbreaks, not because we did any other issues. We just want to clean the building for our employees. We also then put them on retainer, so if we did have any sort of outbreak or any sort of issue, we knew we could be able to get somebody in here to clean our facility quickly so we can get it back up and running. So I encourage people to be thinking about that ways to make sure that if you do have issues, how you're going to react, and make sure you have plans for those reactions as well too.
Thank you, Matt. People are your biggest asset, and really well said. Matt, I really want to thank you for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Lots of great insights, lots of learning, and really appreciate your time. Yeah, thank you so much for joining again.